Well, China went through a period of economic slowdown since the autumn of 2014. And this economic slowdown actually is not just temporary, it's a structural one. So we have to expect China to attract imports from Europe at a slower pace than before. We think that following the decline we suffered in the course of 2015, it's fairly likely that export to China will start growing again in the course of 2016. But still companies exposed to China cannot rely on a stronger market expansion as strong as it was before this episode of economic slowdown. Second element I would say is the degree of financial instability we are now witnessing in China. There are rising signs of financial distress among corporates, which suffer the global slowdown in growth, and among lenders, banks and the non-bank sector. If this financial distress can be contained by the monetary authorities, then everything will be fine. The problem is that they make policy mistakes, or this instability cannot be contained. Then the problem could be global. Final element, the exchange rate. I think that there the situation is now much more stable than before. Markets are now convinced that the Chinese authorities will not allow the renminbi to depreciate very aggressively, and so I think the outlook on this front should not be a concern for Europeans. Well, the UK referendum on the EU is extremely relevant for the euro area. If the Eurosceptics win, then we will have the first country to leave the EU since the EU was born. It's a very serious event. Of course, it will lead to negative economic implications because of the potential decrease in trade flows between the UK and the EU. There will be a confidence impact. There will be also an increase in risk aversion, leading potentially to some disruptions in EU financial markets. So I think it's an event that must not be underestimated. Probably the real economic impact at first will not be very significant, but it could be followed by market turmoil. We come from a period of recovery in oil prices following the very steep decline of 2014 and 15. We think this could be a sign of some stabilization in the global economy. It is clearly inflated by supply-side factors, but in general I think it's a positive phenomenon for the economy. The outlook, in our view, is that oil prices will only recover very slowly in the next couple of years, because global GDP growth remains low. There is not much growth in demand. There is indeed a decrease in supply that could materialize in the coming quarters because of this environment of lower oil prices. But the excess supply of oil will only disappear very slowly. So yes, we can expect oil prices to strengthen a little bit between 2016 and 2017, but not very fast. The Eurozone economy is growing at a very steady pace of slightly more than 1.5% year on year. The short-term outlook doesn't look that bad. We got relatively reassuring signs from business surveys recently, consistent with a pace of GDP growth of 0.3–0.4% per quarter. Industrial output was good in April, so in the end I think that the short-term outlook is fine. The problem is that we have many uncertainties affecting the second half of the year. In relation to political uncertainty, the fallout from the UK referendum on the EU, potential increase in volatility in the markets, and then we have a number of elections and votes in big European countries. a referendum in Italy, elections in Spain, France, Germany. So it's a very uncertain outlook. So markets, business firms could in the end become more cautious because of this increase in political uncertainty. And so the recovery in business investment that we expect in the end might not materialize in the form, in the size we expect. Now, I think the euro area is now going through a very difficult period. We came out from the big euro area debt crisis not in very good shape, also because of wrong strategies developed to address the crisis. Now the situation is improving, mostly because of the change in ECB policy. So I think the ECB is playing a very significant role in trying to push the Eurozone economy out of this crisis, definitely. But the outlook is very tough, especially because of this increase in political uncertainty and signs that the EU is getting close to a sort of reform paralysis because of the weakness of governments in many EU countries, and because of this shift of voters towards right-wing populist parties, which is taking any possibility away of making significant reforms of the EU governments.